Hi everyone, I am so excited because I'm starting a new series here on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be teaching you everything that there is to know about the Native American style flute, from tutorials on how to play it, to different reviews of it and comparisons to help you find the right instrument for you. I first found out about these flutes, well, I'd heard of them, but I hadn't actually played them until about 5 years ago. I should mention I'm a flute player, the metal flute, and I've been playing that for 27 years. And 5 years ago, I was at a flute convention, and I went by this booth, and they were selling these flutes by High Spirits, and I started playing them and I just fell in love with the sound. And so that's what I want to do with this series, is share it with you, just because I love these instruments so much. And so what I will be doing is playing a bunch of the flutes that I own from High Spirits Flutes, and if you are looking for your own instrument, you can use my code Gina on their website and you'll get 15% off of your order. I will be linking all the flutes that I played today in the description so that you can click on the links, and it'll make it super easy for you to find those exact instruments on their website. Today I am going to be sharing with you some of the flutes that I think are going to be the easiest for you to be playing when you very first start with the native flute. This one right here is the Sparrowhawk in the key of A. So what you will want to do is keep in mind the key, because certain keys are going to be higher, and so that means it's going to be a smaller instrument. Certain keys are going to be lower, and so that's a lower instrument. One clue is if it does say bass, that is a lower instrument, and it's a much bigger instrument than something that says maybe high flute or a mid-range flute. Like I said, this is the Sparrowhawk in the key of A, and it is made out of aromatic cedar. The reason that I would recommend one of the mid-range flutes when you're getting started is because they're going to be the easiest to play in terms of the positioning of your hands. One thing I will mention is I do have another video called Learn How to Play the Native Flute, and I would highly recommend watching that, because I'm going to teach you all the fingerings and how to play this instrument, how to breathe and produce the sound properly. So I will link that. But in terms of the actual instrument, I would choose one of those mid-range flutes just because it's going to be the easiest for your hands to play. You're not going to be reaching too much. I will show you that a little bit later on the bass flutes. So you would have to do this, and it can strain your hands, especially if you have smaller hands. And then on the higher flutes, it's going to be a lot smaller. So these mid-range flutes are just perfect for beginners. Like I said, this one is in the key of A, and I'm going to show you a couple others that I think would be perfect for you. So unfortunately, this one was a special edition one that they made from High Spirits, so they don't have this exact one on the website, but I will link something similar. This one is made out of madrone wood, and it is in the key of G. The key of G is slightly lower than the key of A if you haven't played music before. So it will sound like this, and again, like this is a mid-range flute, so it will still feel comfortable on your hands. So like you can see, I have really small hands and I'm able to play this very easily. So it has a little bit of a deeper sound since it is lower than the key of A. This flute is part of High Spirit's signature series. It is the Gray Hawk in the key of B flat, and it's made out of aromatic cedar. So again, this is a little bit higher than the last ones that I've played for you, but it's still very comfortable on my hands. Two other keys that you could try out are the key of B as well as the key of C. Now, in terms of the type of wood, that is just a personal preference. That is a video that I will be making for you here very soon. I'm going to be making these videos monthly, so look for that one where I will compare the different types of wood for you so that you can hear the difference in sound. Now, I'm going to show you why I wouldn't recommend one of the lower flutes and the higher flutes for beginners. So I'm going to start with this one. It is a condor bass in the key of B, and this one is made out of walnut. And so I don't know if you can see this, but my fingers are really stretched out in order to actually cover the holes completely. And it's a little bit more strenuous on my hands, and it's harder to reach. The comfortability definitely goes down with these lower flutes, especially if you have smaller hands. If you have bigger hands, this might work really well for you, but I would highly suggest, like I said, starting with those mid-range flutes because it's just harder to reach and then your accuracy goes down and then it'll just get frustrating. So I would start with the mid-range. Once you get comfortable with that, of course, you can move on to the higher flutes as well as the lower flutes. But let me play this for you so you can hear what it sounds like. It definitely has a gorgeous sound. So once you get comfortable with those mid-range flutes, then consider getting one of the bass flutes because I just love their sound. Now I'm going to show you what it's like playing one of their high flutes. This particular one is also part of the signature series with High Spirits, and it is in the key of E. So putting my hands on it, my fingers are just a lot more squished together. It just doesn't lay as naturally on the hands. However, if you were to choose between a high flute and a low flute, for most people, it's probably going to be easier to play the higher flutes than the lower flutes. But again, I would start with those mid-range flutes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Again, all the instruments that I played are linked in the description. Make sure that you subscribe because I will have new videos out monthly about these native flutes. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you soon.